Hey everybody, welcome to the Mayor's Office. Alan Weber with another update from the Mayor's Office, an update on news about the COVID-19 virus. As usual, we'll start with the data. Yesterday, we had 2 new positive cases in Santa Fe County, so we're now up to 88. The last few days, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2 today. So I would have to say we're doing a good job of social distancing, of staying home, of remembering that there is an emergency order in place from the governor that says, please, please stay at home as much as you can. If you go out, please wear a face mask. Please practice social distancing 6 feet apart. If you go to a supermarket or a grocery store, remember we're metering the number of people allowed into those facilities. Same with pharmacies. We are doing a good job of flattening the curve and keeping people safe. I said on an email to a person today who was interested in how we could open up the city, I said it's going to happen, but my big data point is right now we have 0 COVID-related deaths in Santa Fe County. 0. If we make it through this, the entire thing, and we come out the other end, and everybody is still alive, even if some people have been sick, they made it through it, I'll count that as a big win. And we will reopen, we will get our economy back going, but if we lose people, they're gone permanently. So human life, people making it through this without any loss of life in Santa Fe County, let's make that our joint goal. Let's make that our joint commitment. Statewide, sadly, we've seen 65 deaths, 7 additional ones yesterday. The total of New Mexico cases, 2,072. In New Mexico yesterday, across the state, there were 103 new cases, but that's down from the day before when there were 126 new cases. So I think overall, New Mexico is doing a great job. A lot of credit goes to the governor and her team. The Department of Health jumped on this early and hard, clamped down on it, and gave us very clear directions. Stay home, practice social distancing, wear a face mask if you go out into public, wash your hands, please use whatever hand sanitizers you can get, and at the greatest, for the greatest amount of time, please stay home if you can. That's where we are. I know the governor has a press conference in probably an hour or so. I think she will continue to update us on the progress that she has made as our state leader. I know she's been fighting hard to get the testing kits that New Mexico needs. Testing is a huge part of controlling the spread of the virus, and I know she's been working very hard with our congressional delegation to make sure New Mexico is leading the nation in testing. I also believe she's been getting advice from her Department of Health experts that we are nearing the point where there will be a peak. Probably sometime in the 3rd week of May, we'll hit the peak in New Mexico. And at that point, we'll be able to say we have reached the other side of the curve, we've flattened the curve, and we'll be able to say this state has shown its true character and we're coming through it with flying colors. Thanks to you, thanks to discipline, thanks to focus, thanks for staying the course. I want to review where we are in the city because there are 2 crises we're dealing with. The first, of course, the one we have to win, the one where human life is at risk, is the COVID-19 public health emergency. The second is the aftershock of that health crisis, and that's the economic crisis that we're now battling. Monday was a hard day for Santa Fe. It was a hard day for our employees. It was a hard day for all of our managers. It was a hard day for the city because we finally had to announce that we were facing the brutal financial facts of life, and that is that our city as an enterprise is short $14 million in the general fund and about another $30 million on top of that 46 in all across all of our funds. We are required to balance the budget by the end of June. That means we have 2 months to find that money. We're looking for help. We've applied to the federal government. I spoke to Congressman Ben Ray Lujan, who's been a great champion for us, introducing a bill to help cities our size get help from the federal government. Right now, only cities over 500,000 in population have gotten direct help from the federal government. Unfortunately, the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, has made it clear he's not interested in helping cities our size. They're passing a package. They have passed a package to provide more small business relief. That'll be good news for small businesses in Santa Fe who really need additional resources to keep their people working and to keep their businesses going. We've already seen a lot of businesses have to turn off the lights, have to let people go. Our hotels, unfortunately, they didn't furlough people. They gave people pink slips because they couldn't pay them. Same is true for many of our retail stores and shops, the small mom and pop shops that are backbone of our economy. They didn't have the money to keep their people working. There was a massive increase in unemployment and unemployment benefits. In 1 week, 28,000 of our fellow New Mexicans applied for unemployment benefits. Now, here in the city, we've tried to do the best we can to protect all of our workers. Rather than laying people off, we've approached this with a proposal for furloughs. Some people would be taking a 4-hour-a-week furlough, others 16 hours per week, based entirely on workload, on whether their buildings or functions have been closed down or made no longer able to be in service to you in the city. I'll give you an example. We've bagged all of our parking meters. We don't want people having to pay parking when they come downtown or to the rail yard. So we're no longer issuing parking tickets, but we have people on payroll who are paying for our parking meter team. They did nothing wrong. They're not bad employees. They are great employees, but their function has been effectively eliminated because of the coronavirus. So we've had to go to a temporary furlough to get our budget in place. At the same time, we're stopping hiring, putting a freeze on all but emergency or public safety hiring, putting a freeze on all of our contracts and expenditures. We're no longer going to engage, if we can avoid it, in any overtime pay. We don't have the money. In fact, we're in negative territory. We have a minus 14 million and a minus 46 million. So we have decided as a city government, that we are required to make some hard decisions, to face the brutal facts of life. And these furloughs, temporary though they are, will begin the process of getting us toward a balanced budget. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. These furloughs are necessary. They're not sufficient. They are not going to get the job done. But we decided as a strategy not to take one huge cut that would inflict a huge amount of pain, but rather to take small incremental steps to get us toward the $14 million and the $46 million savings. We need better data. Our data on our gross receipts tax, which accounts for 70% of our city revenue, all comes from gross receipts, and we're not getting those receipts now because stores are closed. We don't have good data because we don't get our gross receipts tax information for 2 months after a period closes. So we won't know for 2 months what's happening right now in Santa Fe. We're making our best judgment to balance the books. Everybody is making sacrifices, I should be clear. I've already heard from 2 city council members that they want to take the same furlough. I'm pitching 30% of my salary back into the general fund. Top managers are on furlough for 4 hours a week. This is something where, as a city government, we're all in it together because it's all about all of us. Let's be clear. Nobody goes to work every morning for the city of Santa Fe thinking, I sure wish I could avoid delivering good services. I sure wish we could keep the rec centers closed. I sure wish we could keep the libraries closed. All of our employees want to do their jobs. All of our employees are passionate about serving you, as are our department heads. I can't tell you how frustrated they are to be told that we're going to have to reduce services to save money. That's just the hard truth. Now, I'll tell you one other thing, and that is that there's a lot of talk that this coronavirus is a very unique crisis. And in some ways it is. It is global, it is sudden, it is triggered by health. We don't have good medical information. We're learning as we go. There's no vaccine. So it's not like a recession or a depression. The economic problem was caused by the coronavirus. So that's a little unique. What's not unique is how we're going to respond. Now, ordinarily, the first response, anytime there's a crisis, is anger. Anger at the coronavirus, anger at people who should have stepped up sooner. Anger is a reasonable response, but anger doesn't solve our problem. Anger won't get us through this crisis. We need the second stage of response, and that is to see that we're all in it together. And I can tell you already that I'm seeing it across the city. You see it with the 3,000 meals that are provided by Food Depot to people who need help. You see it with volunteers helping seniors, our older Santa Feans who don't want to go to the grocery store, who feel risk if they're out in public, and so volunteers are doing shopping for them. You see it with the 3 times the number of meals our Meals on Wheels team is delivering to folks so no one goes hungry. You see it in so many different ways in the cooperation that's going on at Midtown between the city, the county, the state, and the hospital in order to make sure that some of our most vulnerable people, people who are experiencing homelessness, aren't also exposed to COVID-19. I could go on with the number of ways that Santa Feans are rallying to help each other. That's the spirit of our city. And so while we have people from some of our most basic companies and industries who have been put into unemployment and applied for that unemployment help, we're going to do our best in Santa Fe government to keep delivering services and to protect the jobs of as many of our employees as we can for as long as we can with as much compensation as we can, recognizing that the brutal facts of life are we are short $14 million in our general fund, $46 million overall. And there's no way around it. We don't have the authority to run a deficit the way the federal government does. So we're going to take hard measures and make hard decisions. We're all going to take and make a sacrifice. This is something where the only way we can come through at the other end feeling proud of how we conducted ourselves is if we tell the truth, we face the facts, we admit the condition we're in, and then we work collaboratively to solve it. We're going to solve it. We're going to come out the other end. That's the other part about this crisis that is the same. Every time in the past when Santa Fe faced a crisis, and we've done it over the years successfully, we've always come out of it stronger than before. We come out of it more united. We come out of it more compassionate. We come out of it with our values and our heart intact. That's how we're going to face down this crisis. First, we're going to break the back of the coronavirus. We are well on our way toward flattening the curve and being able to say that Santa Fe County, it really distinguished itself and its residents by staying the course, by wearing masks, by staying home, by being respectful of each other, keeping social distance, washing our hands. You are doing an amazing job stay with it until we win that battle. Meanwhile, we'll be making plans to cut costs at the city and gradually to bring back the economy to life, to returning our city to its ability to grow and flourish, to have our stores open, to have our hotels in business, and gradually to resume the life of Santa Fe as a vibrant, active community. But not yet. Not till we break the back of the coronavirus. So it's both health and economy joined together. Our people safe from the coronavirus, our people with their jobs intact as much as possible, for as long as possible, with as little pain as possible, with services to you as much as possible within our new resources. That's the brutal facts of life, number one. The second honest truth is we're going to make this. We will win. We will succeed. We will get to the other side of this. And we will see at the end of it just what a great job we've all done, cooperating, collaborating, being one united community, able to work with each other, for each other, all together, on behalf of each other. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll have another update. We'll find out what the governor says a little later this afternoon in her press conference. Stay healthy, stay safe, and as much as possible, stay home. I'll see you tomorrow.